Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome, and you're listening to the Financial Survival Network. It's Kerry, Lutz, and we've already talked with the person you're about to hear from about the midterms, and now Dave Bego's on talking about potential ambush coming at you from the NLRB. Dave, welcome back.
Well, Kerry, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be on your program.
Hey, so, your book, The Devil at Our Doorstep, it's really sold more than anybody ever expected. Now, potential movie in the offing. Hope that's going to come to pass. But the NLRB is out there, working its mischief. And tell us about this new rule that they're trying to push through.
Well, they actually passed it on Friday, and as the law stood, this doesn't go into effect, by the way, until April, but as the law stands now, if the unions petition for an election, it's a 42-day process. And, of course, the unions don't want that, because what they want to do is they want to spring a surprise on employees and employers and reduce that time period. And the NLRB gave that to them on Friday, where they passed a ruling that the elections can be held or to be held within 21 days or less. And some people are looking at it, some law firms and lawyers out there are saying that it has the potential to be 10 days or less that from the time they petition for an election that they actually have the people go to the polls. And Kerry, this is a nightmare, because what will happen is the unions and the labor bosses will be intimidating these employees behind the scenes and working on them behind the scenes, and have them already in position before the petition for the election. And then they'll push for a very short time period until election day, and the employers will not have time, especially if employers have never been through this before like I have. They will not have time to be able to sit down with their employees and tell them the reality of what's going on, and to stop this ambush. And I can see that we're going to have ambushes all over the country, and employers being unionized almost overnight because of this process.
Yeah. So obviously it's going to go to court before it's implemented. And, we got all sorts of crazy results of this rule. And, it's been, basically this 41 days has been there for, since the NLRB was passed, right?
Well, this has been there since, I believe, the Taft-Hartley Act of 1947. So it tells you how long it's been there, and it tells you how desperate the unions are and the labor bosses, and how desperate is this present administration is to give them what they want, and the Democrats, so they continue to get the campaign money that they need to win elections.
Yeah, and you see what's happening, in certain states where forced unionization is no longer the rule of law. They're really taking hits, like in Wisconsin and in Michigan and in other states, right?
Well, exactly. That's right. And, these people are desperate. And as my mom and dad always told me, desperate people do desperate things. And that's what we're seeing happen. But here's the real problem is, this is going to hurt the American worker. And it's also going to hurt the economy out there, because you're going to have businesses that are thrown into this kind of stuff that now are going to have to change their business model to survive. And you're going to see job loss, and you're going to see some people making more money, possibly, but you're going to see productivity slow down. And, the bottom line, at the end of the day, the American economy is going to suffer.
Yeah, and you're going to see people moving out of these forced unionized states too, aren't you?
But this could happen all over, even in right-to-work states, and this is the scary part about this. And the other thing I didn't bring up is that they also passed another ruling on Friday, the NLRB did, that the union employees can actually use an employer's emails and the email system to communicate. which, it gives the union an upper hand in getting into these people and getting into their minds and intimidating them and misinforming them, and also access maybe to confidential emails on the company side too. It's this is, they're trying to bring down business and let the unions take them over, and this is a scary thing.
Yeah. So how far is this going to go, do you think?
Well, right now it's scheduled to go in April 15th, and somebody may file a lawsuit against it. But I think we're going to see more things come up here in the next 2 weeks here before the end of the year, because the change in the Senate is going to put a damper on some of this stuff, and I think you'll see the NLRB putting even more things in, because what their goal is here, Kerry, is to put card check into play and eliminate the election process altogether. And they're going to slowly put all these little different rulings in that, when you combine them, basically eliminates the secret ballot election, and it goes to card check, where they just get a bare majority of people sign union cards and you're automatically unionized. And we're going to see more of this stuff before the end of the year.
Really? So, yeah, well, they're putting it through. They're trying to push through a whole bunch of different regulations to muck things up, right?
Right, and that's exactly what this is all about. And the American people, and our Congress too, are just sitting out there are naive about this, and it drives me crazy. In fact, before I talked to you, I just communicated with a congressman, U.S. congressman, and said, you guys need to defund the National Labor Relations Board, because these people are out to destroy America as we know it in our American economy. The way they're going to do it is to get rid of the election process for unionization, go to card check, and we're going to see businesses in trouble across this country.
Yeah, and what happens when once you get unionized, once they get a foot in the door, you just see it over and over again. Once healthy industries really start going down the tubes quickly, huh?
Well, that's right. And, the car industry is a perfect example of that. And, look what happened because of the United Auto Workers. And, they're, and it could happen. It's happened in our steel industry too, and other industries. And, we have enough protection today with the EEOC and the Department of Labor and other federal programs to protect people at the workplace. We don't need union people in there slowing down productivity with work rules and driving costs out of control. It doesn't make sense, especially when all they're out there for is not for the help of people. They're out there for the dues money to preserve their own jobs.
Yeah, and you see how much these union officials get paid. They get paid way more than any of the employees that they're representing, don't they?
Oh, yeah. In fact, there's some of these employees that, like you read, like the SEIU's got their Fight for 15 out there, and there was an article out there today that a lot of the SEIU employees don't make as much money as what the SEIU is trying to unionize other people for. And this is their own employees.
Yeah. Amazing. And, you look, when you go, you can look at nonprofit tax returns and balance sheets. When you see how much money these unions have, it's hundreds of millions of dollars, some of them. The teachers union, the SEIU, the AFSCME, auto workers. You look at their main union, the headquarters, which are always in Washington, D.C. for some reason, right? And they've got hundreds of millions of dollars. And, if a business had their expense ratios and all that, the business would be, one of the wealthiest businesses in the country, wouldn't they?
Well, absolutely. And this is all political. Well, it's two things. It's one, to line their own pockets. The other part is for their political agenda. And the sad part of it is, and I don't know if you noticed, Congress in their new bill that they passed here, the 1.1 trillion. One of the things in it was to help pension problems in multi-unit situations. And what they're talking about is union situations with employers and unions where the pension plans are drastically underfunded before they go bankrupt. And that tells you something right there. You have these unions that are spending all this money on themselves and on their political agenda, and they've got both healthcare systems and pension funds that are underfunded.
Yeah, they're just like the country, the whole country out there. Everybody's underfunded. All the pension plans out there, right? Everybody's underfunded, and basically they're looking for the government to bail them out like everybody else, right?
Yeah, and as you know, we can't afford to keep doing that. It's time that we stop the spending and balance the budget and do the right things to move this country forward.
Yeah, and they, along with the rest of the progressives, whatever you want to call them, are really standing in the way. They're just trying to keep the status quo and feather their own nests.
Well, that's right, and and I tell this people a lot. The unions are dinosaurs, and they're past their time. At one time they did great things, and there are still places where we need unions, to be honest with you. But some of these big unions like the SIU and United Auto Workers and that, they're past their heyday, and they really don't understand how to go out and work in the free market system and sell themselves as a benefit to people. And because of that, instead they turn to these tactics of intimidation and misinformation and lies and stuff like that, and using the government to do their bidding.
Yeah, really a shame. Hey, so Dave, when we return, I want to talk about what's next in your plans, how we fight back, and how we solve the problems that are facing the country on the Financial Survival Network.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next.
Every week the show is growing. Would you like to be a part of it? Then go to clubfsn.com and help support us with $1, $2, $5, or $10 a month and get a host of premium content with newsletters dropped into your mailbox, free books, private audio clips, webinars, and much more. Then join clubfsn.com. If you want to get ahead of the trend and ensure your family's financial security before it's too late, go to clubfsn.com and sign up.
The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
And we're talking with Dave Bego, Devil at Our Doorstep, author of that really fine book that you really should take a look at. I have. And Dave, we got to have a strategy for going forward. These efforts like yours, individual efforts, disunified, they just aren't enough going ahead to really take back the country. We need some kind of strategy where the people who really see what's happening and care enough to do something about it really kind of band together and say enough already, and we're just not going to do this anymore. So, we had this election, the Republicans won, they took over Congress. So maybe some of Obama's legislative agenda has been slowed down. His appointees won't get through for the next 2 years. Great. But, that's not enough. So what do we do here? What's the solution for what ails the country? And we're not just talking about unionization. We're talking about, the slowly ailing death of capitalism, of free markets, of the American dream?
Well, it's a tough question, and it's we've got to get people to understand and get in front of and I'm trying to do this with the Republican lawmakers and get in front of them and understand that we have to go on the offensive. We can't play defense against the Democrats and the liberals out there. We have to put them on the defensive and make them respond to us and expose what they're doing. And, Scott Walker, who I have met personally and I really enjoy, he did that in Wisconsin with the unions and went out in the neighborhoods and talked to people of different ethnic backgrounds and religious backgrounds and talked to them about the reality of what's going on. And, that's why he won. He wanted his recall, and he won again in this past election because he does those things, and people understand. And I guess what I'm saying is somehow we got to get the Republican Party to understand that we need more Scott Walkers out there because the unions are scared to death of him. They poured a lot of money into Wisconsin and still got beat. And they're afraid that somebody like him is going to be on the national scene. And that's what we need to do. We need a Scott Walker on the national scene and in the Oval Office.
Yeah, and he's so fascinating because he's low-key. He's really like just kind of everyman. He doesn't seem to be captured by big business either. And because big business seems to like the unions for some reason that I'll never understand. And he's really just out there. He's really improved the state of Wisconsin in so many ways. There was a scam going on in Wisconsin where the teachers union actually owned the health insurance company.
Yep.
And they, it was an inferior plan, and they were forced to join this plan, and the union was cashing in on it. Unfortunately, that's done with. And, you just see something like that. And, Scott Walker is just a low key, he's not what you would call an outwardly ideologue, but he does have strong core beliefs about how to run the government and the country. Is he interested in going for higher office? What you think after what he's been through, does he really need it? Does he really want the ultimate fight here, Dave?
I have met him, and personally, I think he would. Yes, I think the real question is, will the Republican Party embrace him? Because they take the stance too often that we don't want to do anything that could upset people and upset voters and set one group of people against us, or another group, or could give the Democrats something to really fight back against, and I don't look at it that way. I look at it and say, you want the guy that's the best man for the job, and the guy that's going to do what's right for America and all Americans, and stop worrying about. It's kind of like the amnesty thing. I told you I wrote a blog on it here about a week ago. The problem with the amnesty thing is that they're not closing the borders down, and we're going to have 5.5 million people become legal and take jobs. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is they're going to be replaced by more people coming across the border who are getting paid under the table as independent contractors, in many cases piecework that's less than minimum wage, and there's no benefits or anything like that. And they're taking American jobs across the country and lowering wages. And guys like Walker get that. He understands that stuff, and he will step up. But in many cases, the Republican Party look at it and say, well, we don't want to offend the Hispanics because we need their vote. And you won't offend them because, most of them who are legal here, they understand the problem. No, we can't continue in the direction we're going, and it needs to be fixed, and people need to come into this country legally.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you look closely at the results of the midterm, the Hispanic vote was by no means a runaway for the Democrats. It really was I'm looking for the words, but it was an erosion in support for the Democratic Party. I mean, a constituency that they have taken for granted. And that's the thing. Like, you can't say that that they're just a monolithic voting bloc like the African American votes, right?
Well, that's right, and you need to get out in front of them. And that's one of the ways that we defeated the SEIU. Is I went out and sat down in the buildings where we were under attack and talked to my employees, and they're from all different backgrounds, black, white, Hispanic, and others, and I sat and talked to them about the reality of what was going on out there. And, when you do those things, you get people on your side regardless of what their background is, because, people are smarter than everybody gives them credit for. And all you have to do is give them a chance to sit down and talk to them about it. And again, I'll go back to Scott Walker. That's what he did in Wisconsin. And we need more of that in the Republican Party.
Yeah, and let me ask you a quick question here. Union dues. For the average worker, how much does the average worker spend on union dues?
Well, it just depends. They're all different, but, it can be anywhere from, $50 a month to a couple $100 or more a month, just depending on what union you're in and how they do it. But the interesting thing is, and the gal in my book, Miriam the Mighty, she's out in California. She is works for the state, so she has to be a member of the SEIU. Mm-hmm. And she hates them, and she's got a lawsuit against them. But she, once a year, by law, they can petition to have their union dues reduced by the amount that the unions use for political purposes and that. And she did that. She got like 50% of her local to vote to have their union dues reduced, and they were reduced by 35 to 40%.
Wow.
Think about that.
That's amazing. And so it's not just a couple of bucks like it used to be, where you get this basket of benefits and it was really obviously in your interest to be in the union. Now, they're spending the majority of the money lobbying and campaign contributions, things like that. That's where the money's going. Not so much as going to benefits for the employees. And you wonder, are they really getting the employees a better deal when it comes to contract negotiations? How much of a better deal are they getting? Things like that. So you got to wonder, hey, Dave, just give us info, your website, your book, how we contact you, because I know that you're out there, you want to connect with Dave, and you want to start doing something to start turning the country around. It's really a multifaceted, multi-front war, if you will, to do it. So, Dave, where do we find you?
You can go to my website, thedevil@ourdoorstep.com, and there's an area in there you can email me, and you can read my blogs, and you can buy my book there online at a discount. And we need more people to start standing up and pushing our lawmakers to do the right things, and also getting the right lawmakers elected.
Yeah, you're so right. And, you've up to recently, it's really been a solitary fight for you, Dave. But now you've really, I think you've been getting a lot of support from a lot of places, probably where you hadn't expected, which is a good thing. Anyway, Dave, thanks so much for coming on. And you want to find the links to Dave's sites, you'll find them in the show notes, as always, to this interview on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Make sure you sign up for a newsletter. Got a webinar coming up on December 29th. You'll see the details shortly. And don't forget, you want to support the site, clubfsn.com, clubfsn.com, whatever you want to contribute so we can start going to video in the first quarter of 2015. Dave, thanks so much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Well, thanks, Kerry. Keep up the good work you're doing, too. We appreciate it.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.